Yeah, Godwin was on fire, man. I really thought I see him get hurt, but man, he came back into play. He came back in the game and had no ill effects, man. That guy stepped right back in and kept on rolling.
There you go, man.
And just think they're doing this without Brown. You know, Godwin and Evans doing their thing. They got Gronk back. Once you have Brown in the mix, I mean, he's got so many weapons. It's stupid. That's why it's going to be hard at the end of the day when this season gets to the playoffs to beat them.
But also bringing Brown back. They were talking about releasing him after his suspension was over.
Are they?
No, they're not gonna do that. Brown is very, very, and that's the crazy thing about it. Godwin and Brown and Gronk are really the three. Evans, because one thing, and if you watch, especially when they play the Saints, Evans doesn't really do too much because Evans doesn't run routes. Like Antonio Brown, the good thing about Antonio Brown can beat the one-on-one because he can run short, he can run deep. Godwin, he's the guy that drags pretty much across the middle. He's the one that runs the jet sweeps. He's the one that they throw the screens to. And then you have Gronk going across the middle. So I think that's the thing. I think Brown is the important piece because if you go and look at the playoffs, Brown was the leading receiver.
Right.
Because he's the one, because Evans, to me, Evans, he's a good receiver, but he's a jump man. Yeah. Like everything is vertical, it's jump balls. He doesn't run routes. And it's crazy because like if you go back, because you go back to the Saints game when he got that pass interference, he ran a corner route. Never ran a corner route before, probably shocked the corner. He just grabbed him like, what the heck? Like, and that's the thing. But that's the thing, like I tell people about, they have named receivers, but out of all levels, the most important one is Brown and Gronk.
And to your point, Evans is going to take, like to use the Saints matchup, he takes Lattimore. The top corner on each team is going to go with Evans, therefore leaving all the other guys with a mismatch because Antonio Brown is a mismatch on anybody's second best corner.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing, because he can actually, because with Brown, you don't know what he's running. You don't know what kind of route he can run compared to Evans. Evans, you know he's going to go vertical.
And that's the thing. And so then when you add Brown back in the mix, then that's when you got Gronk running down the seam because they're trying to account for everybody else. And then that's when Gronk's running free down the seam and Tom's is going to light them up.
Yeah. Gronk got one for 27 yards today on a touchdown.
Yeah, he got that one-on-one with the house.
He's just got to stay healthy. Gronk is the man. He just got to stay healthy.
And I'm gonna tell you, if AB comes back, you got Godwin, who had 15 receptions, 143 yards today. 36 was his longest, and he was targeted 17 times. So I mean, this ain't about him putting him in the slot, you know.
But you know, the thing about this is nobody really put pressure on Brady. I mean, Atlanta's not really putting pressure on Brady. Like you put Brady under pressure, man. That's what he tends to fold up, you know. And I'm kind of curious to see what Brady does against, you know.
That's how the Saints.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Maybe like against Green Bay or somebody who puts pressure, but I don't know.
People need to be studying the formula of the Saints. The Saints beat them both times last time in the regular season, and they beat them this time in the regular season, even with Simeon, because of the pressure that you were talking about. Remember, he was throwing the rest, and so they need to steal the game plan of what the Saints are doing defensively.
The only team that's a bad matchup is that's gonna probably make the playoffs is probably gonna be the Rams. That's the only bad matchup because even if you look at Green Bay won't do well against their defense because one, you can't run on them. So now Aaron Rodgers has to throw the ball. Secondly, they're gonna be in your face, so you can't throw your little quick screens. And now you got to throw the jump ball. Hence the fact if you go back and you look in the playoffs last year, that's what gave Green Bay the trouble. And I say the Rams because at least you got Aaron Donald to put pressure up that middle. That's one of the biggest things. But everybody else that's in the playoff hunt doesn't have a matchup. And to go off what you said, Jim. One thing, Tampa Bay sucks in New Orleans. I don't know what it is.
Whatever. Put the water out there in New Orleans.
I don't know if they go on Bourbon Street or whatever, and they live. And just enjoy it. They get them daiquiris from New Orleans Spirits and say, "Hey, we're gonna just show up." I don't know. It's always been like that. And secondly, like I said, AB was the X factor because when you got in the playoffs, AB became the X factor.
You don't think the one team that I'd ask you about because you said the Rams, you don't think a healthy Arizona team can give Tampa a run, especially because it'd be a shootout, in my opinion.
No, because one, they can't. Arizona can't stop the run. They can't stop the run nor the pass.
But that's why I said shootout. You think Tampa's defense? I mean, Tampa's secondary got to get healthy first of all to be able to contend with them.
Because one thing, the secondary, because if you really, the secondary be fine in probably about 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to be in shape. But if you look at also one thing that Tampa has, they have a pass rush. Like the two D ends, they're not. You just can't run around like a chicken with your head cut off. So again, now you're asking for Murray to make plays, and I think Tampa can stop them more than Arizona can stop them.
You know, at the beginning of the season, Tampa's defense looked great, but it seems like towards the middle and towards the end of the season, you know, their defense has been looking a little suspect lately. That's why I kind of wonder.
It's the injuries, though. I mean,
yeah, no, right. That's what I'm saying. So I wonder with what they have currently, if they could stop a shootout with, you know, with Arizona.
Yeah, but you also got to realize something too. The one thing that Tampa Bay makes you go into a shootout, so therefore you get quarterbacks that can't really, like, I mean, Murray's good, but now you have to throw the ball 40, 50 times.
Right.
So once it becomes a shootout, now it's like, okay, my defense versus your defense. I know my defense can stop the run. So that now you're limited. Tom Brady's looking at it as well. Offensively, we can run the ball because we go these 2 tight end sets. What are you gonna do? You're gonna bring that safety down, or you're gonna take a linebacker out and put a DB in. Now I got mismatches with the tight ends. Plus, I got the one-on-one with AB. So, and I got Mike Evans. So you're gonna have to play over the top.
I still like the Bucs. Yeah, that's the reason why I said that in regards to when AB comes back. I mean, I still like the Bucs, especially the way Tom Brady plays in the playoffs against anybody. But I brought up Arizona just because right now they've earned their due, holding the top spot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. They earn it. Don't get me wrong. Arizona's a good team, but when you have a run and shoot team, that's what they were. The most important thing is health. Is staying healthy. Can you stay healthy enough to survive?
Yeah, hey, and guys, I don't know how y'all address the comments, but you don't suspend Aaron Rodgers for 3 games. That's the easy answer to that question that somebody asked. They ain't doing that, period.
But to his thing, it's 2 different things. Aaron Rodgers didn't get fined for the COVID thing. He got fined for going to a party. So that's one thing that you got to realize. AB just got fined he got suspended 3 games because he lied about the card. And so that's hey, we got to nip this in the butt before we gets too crazy.
Right.
And wasn't he vaccinated anyway?
Yeah, no, he lied about it. Aaron Rodgers lied about getting vaccinated.
No, I'm talking about Aaron. I'm talking about
Antonio Brown had a false card made. He wasn't vaccinated.
He had a false card, but then when he saw the heat coming on, he went and got his shots.
He should have just got. That's how dumb Antonio Brown. That's my point. He should have just got the damn shot and said, "Hell with the." But really, what Antonio Brown should have done was pay his damn chef. He should have paid his bills. He didn't pay his bills, and so the chef said, "We ain't gonna pay me." Oh, okay, all right.
I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't care what the moral stance is. I ain't even getting into that, obviously. But man, when you get paid the amount of money these guys do, man, stick me with whatever you got to, and let's play football.
Yeah.
So today, the Detroit Lions beat the Minnesota Vikings. Anybody surprised about that?
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. They should put up a banner that says "We finally won" or something. I don't know. That's banner word.
Did you see the last play?
I did not.
I didn't see the game.
No.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna explain to you. So they were on the 4 or 5 yard line. It was 4th down. 3 seconds left in the game. The corners were halfway in the end zone, already lined up. The receiver just ran a stop route. He pretty much ran inside the end zone, stopped, turned around, the ball was thrown. And the corner was like playing cover 4. Like he was just belling the whole entire time. It was like the weirdest high school, like why are you playing so far off on a guy? And he didn't do anything special. He just ran a stop, turned around, ball was thrown.
Wow.
I know Thielen got hurt though in the game. Didn't he get hurt like at the very beginning?
I think so.
I think he did something to his ankle or something. So they were missing Thielen. They still had Jefferson, so they still had somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was say. That would explain why, because I saw Jefferson's stat line and it was ridiculous. So that would explain if they had Thielen, that's why he's feeding him so much.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, Madison had 22 carries for 90 yards for Minnesota in the rushing game. I mean, they had 100 yards rushing, and then Detroit had 100 yards rushing total. But Detroit now getting off we have no winless teams now. So now we got the Jaguars, and Detroit now really going to turn up battle for that first number 1 pick.
I just remember when we were doing picks yesterday, and Mike Hughes said we ain't even going to talk about the Vikings Detroit because we know Detroit ain't going to win, and that's all I can think about now because he wasn't wrong in his statement, but he was wrong. But you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even worth talking about, and then here we are.
Yeah. This one person says, what 2 current NFL players would you pick to help you survive Jurassic Park? You have 4 hours to get across the island and a coach and catch the boat. Pick wisely.
DK Metcalf.
I mean, that's just weird.
That is kind of weird, but I guess I'd pick.
Look at you.
Just off that one play alone last year, I want DK Metcalf to carry me somewhere. I know that.
I'm going with the speed of Tyreek Hill. I want to get the hell out of there as quick as possible.
Well, if I want to get somebody that can throw the ball really good, just give me Russell Wilson. He can run and throw the ball. So you got weapons that run, and while he's on the move, he can be throwing the football, trying to hit these Jurassic Park. So
I'm not entertaining that. I'm not going to entertain that.
But you got to look at it. He comes from a Rams fan,
You got to talk about something. I wouldn't want to talk about that team because they still kind of look sketch today against the Jaguars.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it was a close game all the way up to halftime. After halftime, it just got blown out of proportion. Anthony Price came up and says, do you trust Arizona's defense over the Rams' defense?
No. Well, and I think here's first off, I don't know what the Rams was doing against the Packers. Like your best corner was going against the third string receiver. It's not even going against the second best or even the best player. So I think one thing they just got to figure out what they're doing defensively and scheme a little bit better. But
with the Rams defense, I'd like to see more out of Von Miller. I don't think Von Miller did really anything in that Packers game. And that's one of the big pieces they brought in to supposedly help out the defense.
But I think now he's at that point where you pretty much going off his name more than his athletic ability.
They said that injury was nagging him too. I mean, and clearly, if you look at his play, you got to believe that.
And going into a new scheme too.
The thing about it, don't understand is that they brought in Sean McVay, the youngest coach, whatever, gave him complete autonomy over the LA Rams. Do whatever you want. We don't. Hey, you got free reign. So he makes all these moves. He gives up all these draft picks. He brings in staff, brings in Von Miller, whatever. Sets the team back light years. If they don't, he's all in. He has cashed the whole cow, and all the chips are on the table. They've mortgaged their whole future right now for a hot minute. If they don't win right now, doesn't that make Sean McVay look stupid?
Not necessarily.
You don't think so?
Because you can flip it and you can say, I know you're a Cowboys fan. Y'all spent all your money on this O-line. You spent all your money on these receivers.
No, but that's different. That's the manager. That's the owner. The owner.
No. But let me ask you this, and this is just being honest. Who has a better chance to win the Super Bowl, the Rams or the Cowboys? If we really
they're both about equal, in my opinion. They're both about equal, in my opinion.
I think, but if we said it at the very beginning, before the season started, everybody would have said, "Oh, the Rams got a way better chance than the Cowboys." I mean,
I wasn't saying that.
Jay, let me tell you my thing. And me and Freddie talked about this. In order for the Rams to win, go back to when they had success and made it to the Super Bowl, and they were using Gurley. They got cute. Quite a few games this year where they went to pass too much and not just hand the ball to Henderson. And today, ironically, they gave the ball to Sony Michel with Henderson out 24 times, which they hadn't even done to Henderson all year. They got to run the football and not try to pass all the time and put pressure on Stafford.
I mean, that was my biggest thing. It's not what his. This is really not Sean McVay's legit first offense. This is more of a spread. I don't trust Matthew Stafford from the beginning, but I like what they're doing because one thing about it is all around first round draft picks. Who are the players that they pick that other teams pick?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That's what, but you see what I'm saying? Like when we look at draft picks is like, I mean, and I heard it before. I told in an earlier show, draft picks is like looking at cars at a car lot. It all look good, and the price is expensive. But as soon as they drive off a lot, what happens?
But you can also say, okay, so if they don't win the Super Bowl this year or next year, how much? And then they have no capital. They burnt all their capital. There's no play for them.
I mean, I agree with you, Jay. I'm not knocking that, but then you also look at it. I mean, other than Stafford, the guys they spent their money on, they're still young. But secondly, one thing about it is you got to realize, you take the Cowboys, you take the Eagles, you take the Bills, you take look at the Patriots. Patriots they didn't draft nobody worth nothing.
They've also got built up capital, and they can continue to build on what they got right now. They're actually sitting in a good spot.
But if you go back and you look at it, you say it's in a good spot right now. Eventually, they suck at the draft. They got all their stuff out of free agents. They're no different from the Rams, and eventually they're gonna have to pay these guys. I mean, you look at the Cowboys. We said it from the beginning. Cowboys y'all picked up some great picks over the years. That offensive line was a great pick. The quarterback, the running back, the receiver core, the linebacker you got this year. But what have you shown?
Well, we're 8-4. We're 8-4, and we're building momentum. It's not like we're doing bad. I don't. We're not doing bad. We're sitting at the top.
I know, and this is.
And I didn't have to burn capital.
And look, since OBJ got brought up down there, let me tell you something about the whole appeasing to OBJ and that whole the Rams get too cute. I'll give you a perfect example. First and goal from the one, instead of handing the ball to Sony Michel, who's been doing good all day, you threw a pass to OBJ. That's appealing to your wide receiver. That's exactly what that is. That's why I don't like that. That's why I don't like that.
And yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like Jay, we can say capital, you can say you burn all this, but again, the two conversations at the beginning, we was talking Rams Super Bowl. No disrespect, we weren't talking Cowboys Super Bowl. We was just talking about and
you ain't around Cowboys fans, then are you?
No, I mean I'm in Texas. but Jay, listen to what you just said. The Rams are what, 8-4?
I've looked at the Rams record. I don't know what theirs. I know.
Cowboys
are 8-4 though.
Yeah, the Rams are 8-4.
So think about it. The Rams are 8-4, right. and you're talking Super Bowl with them. That was the conversation. That they don't make a Super Bowl, they fail. You're happy just to be 8-4 because when I say look at the Cowboys, you're like, well, we're 8-4. You see how the conversation is different.
I'm not happy. No, we have a good team. It's not happy to be 8-4. We have a good team.
No, I agree with you, but no one's really.
And we still got all our draft picks.
But who's talking Super Bowl with you guys?
Nobody's talking about Super Bowl with the damn Rams.
Who you just said it?
I'm saying no. Now you're twisting what I said. Let me clarify because apparently you didn't get it the first go around, so I'm gonna give it to you a second time. Open up your ears. Make sure you get the wax out now. I said if they don't make a Super Bowl and they burnt all their capital, yeah, it's a fucking bust. It's a bust.
That same thing I just said. But we're not.
No, but I'm saying, of course you have to put Super Bowl in there because he's burnt all his capital. So that would be the prize. You burnt the capital to get the prize. If you don't get the prize, you look like a freaking idiot because you have no capital.
But again, the goal is to make the Super Bowl.
And let's be honest. Who did you give all them draft picks for? Matt Stafford? That's your guy? Okay. Matt Stafford's your guy. Okay.
And you have all your draft picks.
Yeah.
And we're still not talking Super Bowl with you guys.
No, you're not talking it. I'm talking it. You're not talking it.
then this guy says, you know, the Rams still has 8 draft picks next season. The
Get
Rams
Tony
draft
Hollingsworth
picks
on here.
different
Get
than
Tony
other teams.
Hollingsworth on. I need some more I need some Cowboy backup. Get Kenny on here. We need some backup.
Hey, let me tell you about the Cowboys. Not to jump ahead, but they're gonna lose next week to the Redskins. Go ahead and that Washington football team. Go ahead and lock that up.
Oh, yeah, but I'm definitely gonna lock that up, and I need your phone number so I can harass you afterwards.
Go for it,
Jim. Jim, he's gonna do like last year when I said the Cowboys. Who did I say the Cowboys was gonna lose to? And you was like, oh no, they're not. Oh, the Broncos. I said, Jim, they're gonna lose to the Broncos, and he went. Look, man, like I said from the beginning, the conversation when we talk to the Rams, it's even now. If you really just sit here and think about it, it's the conversation is Rams, Bucks, Packers, Super Bowl. You kind of add the Cardinals because you're like, hey, can they really do it deep down inside? That's the belief. You're saying they burnt up all the capital. I mean, you can look at even the Bucks. They spent up all this money because the team gonna be just half of them gonna be gone.
Look who they brought in too. They brought in way better caliber players in.
No, you
got might be old, but he's still freaking good. He's better, a hell of a lot better than Matt Stafford. They calculated that out. And they got a Super Bowl out of it. Even if they already got a Super Bowl out of it.
And the thing about it is, you rather take risks and try to instead of hoping on.
Take risks. Take risks, but take calculated risks. Don't give up your damn draft capital on Matt freaking Stafford like he's Tom freaking Brady. Come on.
Look, Coach, I'm gonna tell you at the end of the day. Look, I'm hoping Arizona can make some noise. I don't think Dallas will. I honestly think we're gonna be talking about Green Bay and Tampa. And then when you look at those two quarterbacks, I know they can get it done. I think that's who you're talking about at the end of the day in the NFC.
Okay. I mean, I picked – I'm a Tampa Bay. I picked them from the beginning. I mean,
right. And that's the right pick because you know what they got.
Yeah. But I just don't – I don't knock the Rams because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you have this capital, you have all these draft picks, but who they trade to? They trade all these draft picks to the Jaguars. They haven't done anything. Look,
you could give the Jaguars the whole first round to pick from, and they still.
And Ray, you should know it more than anybody because you're a Jaguars fan. You look at the Lions. They traded the picks to the Lions. Oh, they just won their first game. So it's like, regardless of the question, even if you got these draft picks, if you don't pick the right guy to fit your system, you're still gonna be where you at.
But usually when you trade, if you're going to trade those picks away, trade it for somebody who can compete with another team. Like Stafford can't compete against Brady. There's no freaking way.
Ray, I'd
rather have a young quarterback, in the draft rather than Stafford. Stafford's not going to go up against Brady.
Ray, I just thought about something. Man, I didn't think to ask you. Were you all in your fields today watching Gardner get that win?
Yeah, see, that's another thing too. And if you look at it this way, I would like to have Gardner here to, and then let Lawrence sit down for a little while and let him, see from the sidelines how this game is played, and then they just threw Lawrence right in the middle of the fire. But then again, here in Jacksonville, the defensive coordinators have never been good in the last, since we did that, since 2017 was the best year we had since I've been a Jaguar fan. So, I mean, if you look at it this way here, too, the defensive coordinators are not very good. They don't want to blitz. They don't get the players. And what's really wrong with the Jaguars, and I'll tell you straight up, is their scouting department. They got horrible scouting, That's the last 3 or 4 years. And then what really peeved me is the former coach that, started the franchise off, they brought him in as a player operations, like a GM football side of the GM side type deal. And that's when all the arguments and stuff like that got with Jalen Ramsey, and that's why Ramsey wanted to be traded. It wasn't cause that he hated the team. It was cause he hated, the GM at the time. And so that's why he got traded away, and that really peeved me off because then he started trading everybody else. I mean, we had Campbell. They traded him away, and,
Fournette.
So, yeah, and Fournette, they let him go and stuff like that.
Ray, and what you just said, I think, was Coach's point about the draft capital that Jay's saying. You can have the picks, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get the players and it's going to turn out well. Whereas Coach is saying the players that they're trading those picks for, you know what you're going to get. So they're willing to make that investment because they know what they're trading those off for. If you make bad picks, like you're saying the Jaguars have done and other teams have done, then, it doesn't even matter.
And, answer to John Suggs' question is for the Jags. I don't know which Jag team is going to show up. The one that showed up against Buffalo to beat Buffalo, or the one that's not showing up right now. I mean, Jaguars day to day is like different. I mean, even though our star wide receiver got taken out for the rest of the year, and DJ Shark, but Marvin Jones, Jones has stepped up a little bit here and there. Treadwell has stepped up. I mean, he's showing a little bit of flashes here, but I mean, still you don't have a number one wide receiver, and that's the problem. And then your offensive lines then got banged up. Our center's gone again. He got hurt in the game today, so we don't know how long he's going to be out. So I mean, we've shuffling everything around, and then you got an inexperienced head coach in Urban Myers. I mean, you still got to give him time. So I mean, this organization is going to run with Myers and see if Myers can turn it around. I mean, they started getting a little bit of stuff going in here. They got a $45 million practice facility that's going to be coming in. Shad Khan's added a amphitheater to the stadium.
What's the amphitheater going to do to get you to a Super Bowl? I don't care about an amphitheater.
Well, I mean, he's trying to get. I mean, you got to understand. If you look at Jacksonville don't offer really too much stuff. So you got to put in stuff like revitalize downtown.
I get this. Revitalization down. Yeah, I've been through Jacksonville. I get you. From a revitalization standpoint, it does help them. It does help, especially on the water. I mean,
you want to make it an attractive destination.
But see, you don't have like most places. Like if you look at St. Louis, when the St. Louis Cardinals play, they have a facility down there where they can party at the stadium and stuff like that before games and stuff like that.
Fox Midwest Live,
we don't have a place where we can put a band at in the middle of the parking lot and stuff like that. So they're trying to add that little scenario to it. They add in the practice facility because Florida Heat is hot out here, so they got to get a practice facility where they can track players. I mean, players don't want to come down here because of the heat and all this stuff. And I mean, when Green Bay comes down here, Aaron Rodgers, they have to go out and hire about 45 people to hold a banner over top of Aaron Rodgers' head, and then they have to hook up an AC on the sideline for him to hook up to their shoulder pads.
Yeah, now to your point, Texas got the same exact thing. The Texas Live is the same thing as the Midwest Village over there in St. Louis. Those places are very popular and popping.
So I mean, that's the thing about Jacksonville. They can't lure people here, and they do lure people here. They want to leave, So I mean, you got to make this place more attractive than that, so that when they revitalize downtown and the project they're doing here, they're doing a $45 million project. And what they're going to do is they're going to center a Navy warship in the center of this project to where they have the museum and stuff like that and incorporating the military family, because this is what it is here. Jacksonville is a transitional city of military personnel. You got 3 military bases. You got a Marine Corps base down here. You got 2 Navy bases.
Yeah, Ray, I was stationed there for 3 years. That's why I was familiar with the whole Jaguars fan base.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at it this way, the Jaguars are putting in, people are root for Jaguars, but they also got a secondary team because they're implanted here. So I mean, you got to look at it too. And people fuss at us because we go to London every year. That helps us because we get all that capital over there in London when we play a home game, and that stadium is a whole lot bigger and get the London fan base. So it helps a small market team. That's what Jacksonville is. Small market teams are hard to compete with any big franchise. So you have to get to what you can. And hopefully you can. So I mean, that's the big deal.
So you said all that to say that basically you're a big pile of dog poo with a really nice wrapper around it. Is that what you're telling me? We know a big pile of dog poo, so we gotta have a really nice wrapping paper to put underneath the Christmas tree. It looks pretty.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I even sent an owner another email. I retired in 2012. And I sent a letter to the Jacksonville Jaguars to have an American flag raised above the stadium and stuff like that for my shadow box. He comes back and sends me an invite to his press box. So I got to sit in the president's press box with the owner and stuff like that with all his big clientele. They actually beat Tennessee Titan his first win as a Jaguar owner. And we always send emails back to him. You need to invite us back in there because you're always won when we were sitting in the press box with you.
Hey, there you go. That might get you some tickets back to the press box.
So don't be a hater, Jay.
Hey, listen, all I know is in Savannah, we get Jacksonville commercials Every once in a while, I'll get a Jacksonville commercial. And the best one I liked was for 4 easy payments of $40, you can have front row seats, season tickets to the Jacksonville Jaguars game. So I'm sitting in my 4 easy payments just because I need something to do, take the wife to, because there's no football team here in Savannah. So I
was gonna say, man, I went to Savannah a lot from Jacksonville. That's the only place you got to go, Jay. What you talking about? You better.
I know. Hey, listen, I went for all the teams. When the Texans come there, you know, because my wife, she's a Texans fan, so I try to take her to a Texans game whenever they play there. It's nice. It's only an hour and a half ride. It's in Jacksonville. It is a nice place. I mean, I've been there. It's nice. It's not too bad.
It's spread out. I mean, this is the biggest landmass in the United States. And I'm an Uber driver, and I drive around Jacksonville. On a single night, go around the whole entire Jacksonville, I put almost 600 miles on my car.
Damn.
In a night.
Oh, we must be raking in that Uber money.
Look, Coach, what we need Ray to do while he's driving this week is ask people who's better, the Rams or the Cowboys. That's what we need. We need a poll.
We need a poll, and we want you to put that poll on here. You know what I'm saying? Well, hell, I mean, Ross, who the hell's your team? Who's your team again?
Can you see behind me? You don't see.
Okay. I see you got a breathe. You're a Saints fan. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Cowboys had to beat our JV squad.
No, I think that was your senior squad, man. Listen.
No, man. 2 offensive linemen, all pro out. The running back out. Are you kidding me? Tight ends out. That receiving core without Thomas is a joke. And then you had
what's up with Thomas? What's up with your boy Thomas, man? Was he ever going to get back on the field?
Yeah, he was. And then the game that Winston got hurt, he decided to come out afterward and announce that he wasn't coming back. So he bailed straight up. Me and Freddie talked about it. And I think Kamara's bailing right now. He was supposed to be healthy 2 weeks ago. I think they all getting exposed for bouncing on the same.
So you think Thomas is basically forced him into a trade him to the team, and then he'll come and play?
Yeah, he don't want nothing to do with New Orleans.
That's interesting. Okay.
It was easy. I
was kind of fear people want to play for Sean McVay. I mean, not Sean McVay. Sean Payton.
I don't think Sean Payton's going to be in New Orleans too much longer. He is an attractive commodity, and especially to the Cowboys. There's a lot of teams that want him, and if he has the right players, because he don't have them no more, that he can take an offensive system and win a Super Bowl.
I'd love for Sean Payton to come to Dallas. That'd be awesome.
I'm telling you right now, as a Cowboy hater, they want him, and they've wanted him for about 10 years now. Look, if they found a way to lure him with the weapons y'all got, y'all can win a Super Bowl.
I just don't think that. I just don't know if him and Jerry Jones are going to be a good fit, because you know how Jerry likes to. I hate to say, because I love the Cowboys, but I'm not a Jerry Jones fan because I don't like the way he runs the team, because he wants a puppet. I don't. Man, we had that. You know, you can't run with a puppet. You got to bring Sean Payton, let him run the team. Then Jerry just be quiet. Just like when Jimmy Johnson was there. Be quiet. Jimmy Johnson ran the team. We were winning Super Bowls. We were high on the hog. And then Jerry had to say some shit, pissed off Jimmy Johnson. He left to Miami, and we ain't been the same since.
Well, maybe after like a million years, Jerry's learned. I doubt it, but maybe. And you know, the fact that Sean Payton's been there before, maybe there's some love.
And anybody else though, even when Jerry leaves, you know, God forbid, whenever he relinquishes a team, his son's the same damn way.
Well, I ain't mad about it because I don't want the Cowboys to ever win again. So
I don't blame you. Yeah, I feel you. That's how it is when you're America's team. You know. I mean, people gotta hate on it. You know, you're like the Taliban over there.
Yeah. You could throw the Cowboys in the same bowl with Alabama. Do away with both y'all.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah. I can see your point though. I got it.
Yeah, but you know. I mean, if you look at the Cowboys Stadium, that's a very nice stadium and stuff like that. So, I mean, you know, they got the stadium to bring the lure people in, and plus that little private helicopter pad they got for Jerry Jones. But Jerry Jones is a micromanager.
Of course he is.
So he's trying to micromanage every single aspect. And I'm going to tell you what, when the Jaguars went to play Dallas, I got to go into the owner's box. His little perch, he likes to get away from everybody out of his owner's box. So he got a little perch down at the 50-yard line on the lower level. He's got a bat phone in there. Looks like the real bat, you know, from the 1960 Batman. He's got a bat phone that goes straight to the radio station, to his radio announcers. If he don't like what they're saying, he'll pick that phone up and go right to them and dictate what he need to be saying. That's how much he micromanages every single aspect of his organization.
But that's why, from a business standpoint, though, I kind of get that. I mean, it's all brand worthy to him. He's making money off of it. I mean, I don't care what he says to the radio station. That part I don't really give a damn about. He can micromanage that all to hell. I just wish he'd leave the coaches alone and just let the coaches do their thing, so that way they can build the brand that he's already trying to support.
That right there is Daniel. He's the lead host of In Off the Bench. He's a big proponent of bringing Kellen Moore as the coach.
Hey, listen, I ain't got no problem.
They said this about you.
Oh, we're gonna talk. I'm salty. You damn right, I'm salty. Screw the Cowboys.
But I mean,
ain't it time to talk about the AFC yet? Can't we start talking about get up out of here? This NFC hogwash away from the Cowboys.
Before the season started, nobody gave New England a chance. Now New England's number one is in first place in their division. So what do y'all think about New England?
Solid killers.
They won't be by tomorrow night. The end of tomorrow night, though.
I hope not, because the Buffalo Bills are my fantasy defense, and Stephon Diggs is my fantasy running back or wide receiver, and I need monster games from both.
I one up you, Jay. I got Knox, I got Diggs, and I got Allen. So Bills.
We need a monster game from them tomorrow.
Let's get it. But I really do think I was at the Saints Bills game on Thanksgiving, unfortunately and fortunately. Anyway, I mean, I've been a believer in the Bills, and I understand that was a beat-up Saints team, but I think when they got the ship right, they're a team that could be reckoned with. I think they're a lot better team than New England. I understand New England's on this win streak. They haven't beat very many good teams in that streak. Mac Jones is still the quarterback. I don't care how well he's been playing, and so give me Buffalo in that matchup and that division all day.
And the Patriots got to play the Bills twice, right? So they play them. They're playing them Monday. Then they play somebody else, and they play them the third one. So they got to play Buffalo twice. Oh Lord, have mercy, man! Buffalo can either right their ship and take over first, or be or Patriots. I really don't. I hate the Patriots. I hate the Patriots.
Coach, what you think? Buffalo or New England?
I actually got Buffalo winning one. I think the next 4 games, I got New England losing 3 of the games. I got them losing to Buffalo. I got them losing to the Dolphins, and I have them losing to the Colts. I'm with you. I think the biggest issue is White. The best corners out for Buffalo. I want to see how they're going to pretty much react with that. I think knowing Bill's going to make Allen a thrower. Like, hey, you're going to have to throw this football. He has the receivers to throw the football, but I think it goes back to that conversation. I think he's an athlete playing receiver, and he's real hesitant unless it's like clear wide open the read that was supposed to be. But I picked the Bills because I think a lot of people's riding the Patriots just because of the name and the stigma of the Patriots, and they played 6 teams that weren't really good. Well, except one, that was the Chargers. So.
Well, talking about the Patriots and stuff, I've seen a lot more Patriot jerseys down here in Jacksonville because Jones is from Jacksonville, so there's a lot of Patriot fans walking around his family and stuff here in Jacksonville. So
that's tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is tragic. That is tragic. But I'll tell you what, Bill Belichick did a great job bringing in Judon, man. That guy is just transforming that defense and playing lights out.
Yeah, and Ray, going back to tie it to the Jacksonville thing, to the New England thing, Mac Jones got a different situation than Trevor Lawrence did. To your point, Gardner was better fit for what they're doing. For what New England's doing, Mac Jones being able to be a game manager with what's around him is a whole different situation. So Bill's able to roll out a rookie like that and be able to have success.
I mean,
that's why Bill didn't try to trade up in the draft to take a quarterback, because I guess he felt that Mac Jones is the one he wanted all along. I guess he felt like he was going to fall to him, in which of course he did. I think Mac Jones is almost looking like the best quarterback in the draft right now, outside of just he's just playing like it.
I mean, one thing about Mac Jones, even if you go look at Alabama, Mac Jones is going to make the right throws. He's going to make the right reads. The only knock is that I said it from the beginning. Bill sucked at the agent, offensively, and drafting. He got receivers. They're second, third string receivers. The tight ends are second, third string. Pretty much, they can't get open. They have to be able to beat the one-on-one matchups. Daniel, man, a lot of people sleep on Emmanuel Sanders.
He's only saying that because he's playing me in fantasy, and I got Josh Allen, and so he needs every touchdown to go that direction.
But I think a lot of people when they played the team, even when they played the Cowboys, when the Patriots played a team that was good, they had a quarterback that could throw the football, and they had a defense. They struggled because again, he can't. They don't have a receiver that can beat the 1-on-1.
Yeah, and a perfect example of that is when they played the Saints, right? The Saints shut down the run. That's what we're good at, the run defense. Mac Jones wasn't able to do anything in the pass game, and that's why the Saints was able to handle New England. And that's just one example to what you're saying. If they're not able to successfully run the ball, I don't think New England got a shot against anybody. And Mac Jones it's kind of almost going back to the Lamar thing, and Mac Jones sure as heck ain't Lamar as being able to make something happen. I don't think they got enough offense.
No, I agree with you.
What about so you brought up the one good win was against the Chargers. Do you have any belief that we know Justin Herbert and his talent. We know he got those receivers, Eckler. They got a good offense. Do they have enough to not even contend for a Super Bowl? That's what I'm saying. Can they go to the playoffs and win a game or two?
No, they can't. And I'll take it back. They're not a physical team.
I agree.
When Chargers play against teams, that's like the Patriots. Patriots is a physical team regardless. They're gonna try to run the ball. Chargers is a very nice, friendly, finesse team. And when you go against somebody that's physical with them, then you see what happens. Like today, Bengals is not a physical team as well. I'm gonna throw it all across the field, and I'm gonna give it to my little running back, but he's not a imposer. He's a stat guy. So I think that's the one thing about the Chargers. They don't have guys that's just ruthless, physical, mean. They got good guys. Boza, he's good when he's healthy.
He's hurt.
Yeah.
So based upon that opinion, you don't think the Bengals would make noise either, I assume, right?
No.
All right. So my last question for you is a team that's gotten high as of late, who started out the gate slow. Do the Colts have a chance to make any kind of noise?
I think, honestly, truthfully, I picked the Colts to make it. They're gonna get that last pick. Here's my only issue with the Colts, and they have been doing it lately. Well, they did it this last week. You got to run the ball. If that boy don't touch that ball,
baby, run
the game, then we're in trouble. I think that's the most biggest thing. Because even when they played the Bucks, they got scared. And, okay, we're gonna put it in Carson Wentz's hands. Even when they played Tennessee, he put it in Carson.
That was the game you talked about. They finally went back to Taylor. They had 64 yards on the ground that drive and ran it right down their throat. It was like, why did you stop giving it to Taylor?
Yeah, I think the coach, the OC, is the difference maker for the Colts. If he runs the ball and he play off the run and you get that play action going, I think they're fine. They did it against the Texans. It was a great game plan. They ran the ball 25, 30 times. They ran jet sweeps. They ran screens, and they play action on Colts.
They ran the ball 48. Colts ran today 48 times for 238 yards. Taylor touched the ball 32 times out of the 48 for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's the formula.
Yeah,
that's the formula for him.
Hey, you ride. Look, I'm a big believer. We're gonna ride this horse until we can't ride this horse no more.
But the last game,
that running the ball definitely wears down the defense. That's no doubt.
Yeah, no, I asked you that for a reason. I actually think the Colts can be a threat in the playoffs. Like I said, when I asked you about those specific teams, not to win the Super Bowl, but just to win a game or two in the playoffs, I think the Colts are that team that can be. They just got a slow start out the gate. When you start off 1-4, they've worked their way back up. I have to look. I think are they back to 500 now? Let's see. No, they over 500. They 7-6. So
yeah.
But if you look at what the Colts did at Tampa, they only carried the ball 20 times for 107 yards and one touchdown, and Taylor had 16 carries for 83 yards in that football game.
But
he just quit.
But that all came at the end. To his point, Coach, they ran about 5-6 times and gave up.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, at the very beginning, like the first quarter, he had 8 carries. Then the last drive when they scored at the end, he touched the ball like 9 or 10 times and they scored. I mean, you have to just say, hey, we just gonna ride this horse.
And if you look the way that game went, Colts had 3 in the first. It was 3-0 Colts. Then it was 24 to 14 at halftime in that game. Then look at what Tampa did at the second half. They went away from Taylor in the second half, and Tampa scored 14 in the third quarter Colts didn't score any, and then they turned around and got 24 points total in that second half to 7. So I mean, to me, if they had a formula what they had today against the Colts, against Tampa, I mean, it would have been a little bit of a different game. And I think Taylor needs to touch the ball at least over 25 to 30 times in the Colts to win. If you see what he did today, he had 32 carries for 143 yards, and they actually won. I know they played the Texans, but
But go ahead, Jim.
I was just looking at the Titans schedule. I'm gonna tell you, with the Titans injury problem, I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts actually can't find a way to sneak that division.
Nah, they're gonna win. They'll win 3 more games.
Because
it happen, though. It can happen.
Because you don't know the Titans. I mean, the Titans, the injury problem with Derrick Henry, you don't know how long he's going to be out.
If you're the Colts, if you're the Colts, you actually, if the Titans do end up winning the division, you're hoping on as a wild card. That's the team you actually draw, because they're a team that actually usually beats them even when they got Derrick Henry. You get them without Derrick Henry, and then like Coach has been saying, you play smash mouth football with them. I think you're going to take that. So that would actually be the team you would hope that you would end up with in the first round.
Yeah, and also you don't remember the Colts always have they come always down here to Jacksonville and they always come up and somehow they lose the game. I mean, Jacksonville plays the Colts about the best out of all of the division and in their division. So, and that's the last game of the season here in Jacksonville.
Y'all gonna be out to play spoiler, huh?
Yeah. Hey, I mean, look at it. I mean, you can knock on Jacksonville all you want to, but when they play the Indianapolis Colts, is always in Jacksonville is always a good game.
Hey, spoiler is a fun thing. We talked about the Lions for a second earlier. If the Vikings end up a game out the playoffs, they're gonna look back and they're gonna love it. They're gonna be like, we might have won one game all year, but we messed up the Viking season. Find some silver lining.
Yeah. So right now in the third quarter, it's 5:48 left in the third quarter. The Chiefs are up 10-3 on the Broncos. So what do you think about this Kansas City Chiefs? Are they gonna contend in the playoffs anywhere?
Before this game, I thought they were back on track, and clearly they're still struggling. I don't know. I mean, you always want to believe in Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you got Kelsey Hill, Clyde's back. Like, the defense is always suspect, but they're opportunistic. But, I mean, Denver's a pretty solid defensive team, but I think they shouldn't be struggling like this at home.
I mean, from looking at it earlier, like Pat got an interception, it hit off not Kelsey's hands, Tyreek's hands. It's a lot of drops. I've seen a lot of drops from these guys, but I got said from the beginning, man. One thing about the AFC, it's a lot of it is really pretty much is about matchups. But yeah. I take Pat Mahomes over anybody over there in the AFC right now. I don't trust the Bills. I never was a Josh Allen fan. I said it from the beginning. I think the Chargers, they look good, but they just look good. The Bengals, they don't have anybody on defense that can really make a stop. Who else? Titans will be all right, but if Derrick Henry comes back, but like that's like the one secret of all. You don't know when he's coming back. Hell, you don't know none of them coming back really.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean,
when Henry went down, man, that really was a spoiler on Tennessee's season. I mean, there's a lot of people you could do next man up on, but he really was the identity on that running game.
And we had literally had a conversation that was tied to the fantasy. We're like, he's the one guy that maybe everyone should pick as opposed to like CMC, Kamara, Barkley, because all them guys get hurt. We're like, Henry never gets hurt. And then, man, there he was. It's like, damn, he is human.
It happens. It happens to everybody. If you run enough, you're going to wear that body down eventually.
But he seemed like a freak of nature over the last few years because they ran him, and he's managed to just stick through it and finally got him. Heck, actually, no, he was hurt during that game, and he still kept running, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, the way the AFC is forming, like Coach says, it's matchup driven. If you want a team to get a quick win, you come down to Jacksonville, get that quick win, and go back. Besides Buffalo Bills, they didn't come down here and get a quick win. But
Yeah, they did. I like Kansas City though, man. I mean, I think they're gonna right the ship. I think Andy Reid's gonna have them on point. I don't know. I still think New England's a silent assassin in there. I wouldn't be surprised if New England winds up in there.
No, I think it's gonna be Kansas City and Buffalo just like last year.
Okay.
I'm a believer in Josh Allen, unlike Coach.
No, man, I'm not.
I just say with Matt Jones and Bill Belichick and Judon on the defense, yeah, they don't have a clear number one like you said. But man, when you do the dink and dunk passing, you're not doing the long range passing game.
But then if you go back and you look at that, you take the Kansas City Chiefs. They in your face. It ain't like we ain't running no coverage, no zone. I think the biggest thing was when they moved Chris, the D tackle back to D tackle. They had him at DN at the beginning. Now they put him right in the middle to cause that put all that pressure on them. The Bills, I mean, if you really look at the NFL, it's only a couple teams that really have a run game. I mean, I think that's all CBA. You hear me talk about it all the time. It's the CBA and everything messed that up for the O-line. So O-line play has really been trash if you really, really think about it overall for football.
Yeah. And just to clarify, because he said something about the Dolphins jumping the Bills, they're 3 games back. You might want to hang that one up.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You was doing good until you said that.
Man, he was reaching for that one, man.
He was reaching hard. He needs the Bills to lose out.
Damn, he was reaching. But you know what? Hey, speaking of the Dolphins, hey, if Russell Wilson, if this is his last year in Seattle, could you see him going to the Miami Dolphins and elevating their game?
But why do you think it's his last year?
I don't know, man. I think Russell will. I think they're gonna. I think they're getting ready to go in there and blow up the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're done.
But
I think they're done with that team. I think
it's honestly a good time too, Jay. When you look at the West in general, like right now, you're gonna have trouble winning it anyway.
And hey, they can still get some good picks for Russell Wilson. I don't know. Is this his contract year, or is his contract done this year?
No, he hasn't.
He's got another year.
So he's got one more year left. So yeah, they can definitely trade him and still get some draft picks. And I think Pete Carroll's on the hot seat there. I think they don't have a good O-line. I mean, that team is just in shambles.
I can't believe they won today though, because the 49ers have looked good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was ever apparent. You know, I hate to tie fantasy to it, but I watched that game just to notice. With no Deebo Samuel, it was very noticeable out there for that San Francisco offense. That dude, he's the top 3 receiver right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but they got the win when I didn't expect them to. I mean, it ain't helping them none. It's actually putting them in a worse draft position. But you know, whatever.
And we talking about the Buffalo Bills, and he talking about the Dolphins jumping them. You know, next week Buffalo goes to Tampa to play Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know,
but they're gonna win this week, so don't worry about that. You need them to lose basically all their games for that to happen, and it ain't gonna happen tomorrow.
All right, hold on. That's next week's game. Let's see what week 15 brings.
They play the Patriots again. They go.
Well, they might get a win against the Panthers the following week on week 15.
They'll definitely get that one.
Week 16, they got the Patriots in week 16.
Beat them again.
Then week 17.
Play the Jets, huh?
Yeah,
you know what? Ray, listen to me right now. The Bills fixing to win out with what you just told me. They're gonna beat the Bucks too. I just said it right here. Everybody.
Well, they got Atlanta. They got Atlanta in week 17.
Well, you just adding to my list. Winning out.
And then week 18 they got the Jets. So I don't think the Dolphins gonna catch them.
No, they would not. I do like the Jalen Waddle. I think they could build on that guy, but I think they just need a quarterback. I'm not sold on Tua. I think he gets too injury prone.
I know this, Jay. You talking about Russell Wilson? I know I'd much rather live in Miami than Seattle, bro.
That's true. Hey, it's warmer, and
Sierra don't even stay in Seattle. It's so bad there. I mean, his wife. So you know, she be all about him. Like, Russell, man, let's go ahead and hit Miami and hit South Beach. Let's go.
Yeah.
He said bean. Bean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So since you're an LSU fan, Jim, I want to ask you a question about the fake Southern accent of Chip Kelly.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And it happened within 12 hours off the plane. That dude, it makes me not like that hire even more. I don't care where he's won. Unless Rudy was coming in to coach our team, I don't want anything from Notre Dame. All right? That's the only thing I've ever liked about Notre Dame was that damn movie. I didn't care. Look, hey, we talking about polls earlier. I wanted you to do in your Uber. Look, check this out. I did a poll on social media. I had over 100 people vote. Most people told me I was crazy. I said, what's a more relevant program, LSU or Notre Dame? And there's all these people up north telling me about how Notre Dame was more relevant. Man, we ain't in the 20th century no more. And with 73% of the vote, LSU took it. And yeah, we were talking about the SEC earlier. LSU's more relevant. They got 3 national championships since 2003. I mean, what are we talking about? I don't want Brian Kelly. I don't want nothing from Notre Dame. I'm not happy about it. He'll be fired in 3 years. And that means my team's going to suck, and I'm mad about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I'll give you a quick tidbit since you got a Drew Brees jersey behind you. Drew Brees is not 6 feet tall. I'm going to tell you that straight out.
Oh, I've met Drew Brees. He's about 5'9".
Yeah, I'm an inch taller than him. When he came to Afghanistan when I was out there, we stood back to back, and I was an inch taller than him. So, that's an interesting tidbit.
If you read his book, he actually admits that he's not as tall as they say he is.
Yeah.
But it don't matter. He's still slinging that thing.
I'm about to say, it don't matter how tall he is. He still did his thing.
Right. I mean, Russell Wilson's the same way. Obviously, he's more athletic and gifted running, but I mean, they both the same height and still throwing the ball the same way.
Yeah, and I was talking to Drew Brees too while he was out there. I said, "Who's the worst? Who's the player that he fears the most to overplay against?" And it was Julius Peppers.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say this for the Dallas fan in this group. Look, man, it should be DeMarcus Ware and what he did to him on multiple occasions. He put nightmares on him. Specifically, the game when we were up, or when we were 13-0 in 2009, and he sacked him 3 times, strip sacked him one of them. Yeah. I mean, it was. DeMarcus Ware was probably in his dreams.
Yeah.
God, I wish we could get that guy reincarnated back. That'd be great. That'd be great. So. But you know what though? But I say that, but man, I really like Micah Parsons. I think we're gonna be all right.
Micah Parsons is a monster, and obviously, they were talking about Diggs gives up some big plays. I don't care when you're opportunistic like that. You take that.
Right. Absolutely.
So y'all got some foundational pieces when you talk about. I mean, those aren't the only 2, but just specifically with those 2 on that defense, that's something to work with.
And most interesting quote during the preseason was by Parsons saying, "Why is he only playing 2 quarters?" He wanted to play the whole entire game. So I mean, if we look at the NFC and the AFC, who's actually going to take the Super Bowl, the AFC or the NFC?
I think it's going to the NFC. Absolutely NFC.
I agree.
NFC.
But I think the AFC will put up a good fight, but NFC is going to take it.
Julius Peppers was a beast. I think ultimately, look, I think somebody's adding to their ring, or somebody's adding to a ring or rings. I think it's going to be Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers with it at the end. I'm telling you right now. Now that's not who I want. That's not who I want, to be clear. We're just picking. I don't want either of them.
Yeah, Tom Brady got enough ring. I'm trying to see him hold that damn trophy. But I don't like Aaron Rodgers either. I hate his arrogance.
Me neither. I'd rather see Arizona find a way. But I like, Coach was talking about. I don't know. I mean, we ain't never seen it before. We ain't seen Kyler Murray in the playoffs under that pressure against those kind of teams.
Yeah, and that's really going to be the telltale sign when Kyler Murray gets throat punched. If he comes back and able to bounce back, if he can bounce back, against a good team, I mean,
we will see.
It just comes down to getting tested. He just has to get tested.
So we're coming down close to the end of the season. Arizona's got the best. You got the best record in the NFC. You think Tampa, at the end of the day, Tampa's going to have the best record in the NFC? Get the home field advantage?
I think they don't care.
They don't.
I think last year kind of proved like they went on all them away games. So it's not having the home field advantage is not really a big thing. More so for them. Like Arizona, it's a big thing because you want to at least play inside indoors.
Green Bay is a big thing too.
Green Bay is a big one, yes. So, but I mean, it's still early.
So we're looking at the NFC East. Cowboys got a 2-game lead over the Redskins. Oh, well, the football team.
Man, everybody keeps messing it up. It's so hard.
I mean, the team's been the Redskins for 100 years, and they come up with this. I mean, whatever. So we don't even know what the football team. And then you got the Eagles, who are 3 games behind, and then you got the Giants ain't got no chance. But anyway, you think the Cowboys going to take the NFC East?
Of course they are. That's a silly question. That's silliness.
I don't know. Jay gonna be scared after they lose to the Redskins next week and they only 1 game back.
Listen. Jay is not scared. Okay, Jay's scared of his wife. Yes, Jay not scared of the Cowboys.
Look, I'm gonna even give you a prediction. Not only are y'all gonna lose, Antonio Gibson gonna go off on y'all. He gonna rush for 100.
I don't know what reality you're in, man. But listen, guys, listen. It's not gonna happen. Cowboys they're going to be just fine, man.
That's me actually wanting my fantasy playoffs to go well with Antonio Gibson. That's all.
Yeah, I feel it. I kind of figured that. No, I absolutely think the Cowboys are definitely in control of their own destiny in terms of the division, and then of course we'll have to wait and see what happens when we hit the playoffs. But we got D-Law finally back. And I think we're going to be good when we get Randall Gregory back. We get Gregory back. I think our defense will be back to rolling on point. You got to understand too. Dallas has had injuries, man. This season's not been.
I don't want.
No, they have.
A Saints fan does not want to hear anybody else injuries.
I mean, come on, man. Without Dak Prescott game, we put Cooper Rush in there. I mean, come on. We've had our injuries. Not like I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying we have had injuries. So what? We're not allowed to have it. Y'all have injuries. Oh well, this person's hurt. This person. What? And then the minute the Dallas Cowboy fans say somebody's hurt, then all of a sudden,
our quarterback's been out for a long time now. Our star running back's been out. Our star wide receivers been out. Our offensive linemen. I mean, we out everywhere.
Why is it about you, Jim? Why is it always about you?
Because it is. The Saints are actually really America's team. Let me say that.
Oh, just stop it. You're founded on the French nation, French Creole. Stop it. Napoleon.
Hey, but
I ain't gonna lie to you, Jay. You know what broke my heart was hearing how loud it was for the Cowboys inside the dome and realizing that there were more Cowboys fans than there was Saints. That hurt.
We just up the damn road. You're not that far.
I know, but it still hurts, man. It actually happened. I told you guys at the Bills game. The Bills Mafia probably took a third of the dome. Man, it's hurting.
Yeah. Let's touch back into some
Louisiana is still in Texas from Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's touch back into some of the college coaches changes and stuff. The latest one is Oklahoma just hired Vince Venable, the defensive coordinator out of Clemson. So what do you think about that hire at Oklahoma?
I mean, he was really good at Clemson. Obviously, we've seen how good Clemson's been over the last X amount of years that he's been there doing the defense. So I think that's an excellent hire, especially because what we know is Oklahoma's going into the SEC, right? They're going to have to learn how to play defense because that's something they had to do in the Big 12. So hiring a defensive guy is not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna start with recruit. How well he can recruit and do things like that. That's what's gonna make it. I mean, you want an SEC. God, man, you better have I'm really worried about Texas going to the SEC, man. Even our Sarkisian. I mean, we're gonna be struggling. We were already struggling. The SEC is gonna be even worse. But Oklahoma, it's all gonna come down to recruiting. How well can they recruit to stay up with the big games? Lincoln Riley had that.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think Oklahoma, like similar to the way LSU is. And even Texas, a lot of those schools, a lot of the local players that grow up there, unless the Alabama-like team comes and poaches them, I mean, they want to go to those schools. So if you can recruit within your area within itself, that's a good starting point. But I definitely think, and then, he may have some connections. He might be bringing some guys that they've had over at the East Coast, too, because if you've seen a lot of these coaches as they move, there's a lot of guys who have hit the transfer portal following guys. So,
yeah. And then you got Mario Cristobal, who is Miami is really recruiting deeply right now. They tried to bring him back over, but they haven't fired Manny Diaz yet. and that's the problem. So
You think, man, Diaz is sitting at home thinking like, well, damn.
I don't know.
I guess my job here is done. They're already recruiting my replacement.
Yeah, and then if Sensabaugh, I think somebody just said that Sensabaugh has signed the paperwork from University of Miami, and if he brings that style of offense to like Miami or something like that, and they play a physical team, you see how Utah destroyed Oregon. Last 2 times they meet, a physical team can destroy his offense. I mean, if he brings that same style of offense to Miami,
right?
I would like to see personally, because I just remember my childhood, I'd like to see the U and Florida State revitalized somehow. I miss actually seeing them teams mean something.
Yeah, and
they haven't really been, Florida in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we should talk about
the same way. FSU hasn't been FSU in a long time. I remember back in the day when people used to fear FSU in Florida. Now it's like, and Miami too.
That's what I'm saying. Growing up, Florida State, Miami, all those teams down there, it was something. Now it's just like they're laughable.
So, Coach, what do you thought about Mario Sensabaugh going from Oregon to Miami?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know too much about the guy or whatever. But I heard you earlier. I think Oklahoma, man, your best bet, if I was old boy, I go get Brady since he just got fired, make him be my OC. Texas should love what they got right now. That Riley left. Because
Oklahoma
no threat no more.
Well, hell, we got a whole new threat going into the SEC, though. I mean, that's going to be a whole new animal.
That'd be fine, man. Like one thing about it, you got to realize they're still young. Texas is young. You got a young receiver. The running back already said he was coming back. You got the quarterback coming back. They just got to get a little toughness on the defense. Like it's a process, man. You can't change it. You can't change it in 4 or 5 months to be physical.
Right.
I think a lot of it, especially this offseason, is really going to tell a lot for him. So that'd be fine. I think Oklahoma, like I said, it's a good defensive pickup, but I don't know how is he in the recruiting. Like you never really heard they talk about him in recruiting. It was always the head coach at Clemson. So now it's okay. Who do we hire around him to get these guys to come to Oklahoma? Because now going to the SEC really messed up your recruiting wise. Because now at Texas, the Texas kids can stay in Texas. You can go to A&M, or you can go to Alabama because it's not that far, or LSU. So you still got all those games that they can watch. So it kind of really screwed OU on that part. Out of all of it, USC got it the best. I don't care what you say. USC is king out there in California, and Riley, he likes to throw that thing around, so he's gonna get the best of the best offensively.
So you see Oregon now. When Sensabaugh left Oregon, you think Chip Kelly goes back to Oregon?
Nah, he's gonna stay.
Would they even take him back?
I think he'll stay.
I don't know. I mean, he had success with him. They might take him back.
But yeah, you might have a sour taste in your mouth too, though, the way he bounced. So I don't know. Winning cures everything, right? I don't know. So maybe
winning does cure a lot.
How about Bill Napier at Florida? New head coach here. Braden is about 45 minutes outside of Gainesville. They got that big IMG academy there. They had one recruit that they recruited under Dan Mullins, but he decided to decommit and went to Georgia. So Florida hasn't gotten a 4-star, 5-star commit from the state of Florida in a long time. So does Bill Napier change that?
I'm gonna have to say he's a great coach, but I'm gonna have to see it, man. When you're coming from a program like Louisiana and then coming to that, like it's a whole different ball game. And so I believe in him, but I'm still gonna need to see it to know. And I don't know that, we were just talking about the recruiting in the state of Florida, right? Like, I feel like if you look, especially if you watch when they show players where they're from on other teams, it feels like the rest of the SEC is coming into Florida and taking their best players now because those schools aren't rising up to what they used to be. And so I don't know. I'm gonna have to see him at work first. But I mean, I'm hopeful for him because I like the guy.
Right.
Yeah. Now, since you're in Louisiana, and I kind of said this on my college breakdown show on Saturday, was Lincoln Riley spun LSU for a while, let Florida come in and sweep Bill Napier out. I think if Lincoln Riley came out and said, "I'm not coming to LSU right away," I believe Bill Napier would have been LSU's head coach.
Absolutely, and Lincoln wasn't the only one. The Lane train, Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, he trolling Louisiana too. He's on recruiting trails, taking pictures of Louisiana license plate. He did it in Texas as well. And so he was a guy that was a top candidate. And so to your point, yes, I think Napier would have been there. They were hoping for these other two big splashes, and then Napier was off the table, which is why Brian Kelly came out of nowhere because. The two guys you were really hoping for aren't coming. Then the guy that you were going to lean on. And honestly, it started to get scary because, as much as I like Dave Aranda and everything, he was a great defensive coordinator. They started talking about that. And I don't think he would be the answer. I hated LSU when it was just nothing but defensive play and ground and pound. It was not fun football to watch. And Dave Aranda would bring that style back there. So I was happy with that. But yes, I do believe you're right. I believe Napier would have absolutely been LSU had they went to him first before Florida.
LSU could have gone after Brady too, the offensive coordinator for Carolina. They
did. He don't want to leave the NFL, and I don't understand it. Because I get being in the NFL, but you're gonna make 3 times the money, have full control, and they think you're a god there after 2019. But I mean, apparently he likes being in the pros and a lot less responsibility.
Yeah, but the only thing is, Matt Rule just depromoted him from the offensive coordinator.
But he didn't know that. He didn't know that when he was telling them no on this position.
So I mean, that was a call today. I saw that.
That's a New Orleans voodoo thing. I just told you about that. See, he didn't take the
New Orleans. I don't mess with that New Orleans voodoo man.
He told us no, so he paid the price.
Okay, this guy's got Virginia Tech, a huge pickup in Penn State defensive coordinator Brent Pry. He used to be the under Bud Foster, Virginia Tech before he went to Penn State and stuff. So that could be a big hire. And also he said that UVA, University of Virginia, could be hiring Dan Mullen, and Duke might be hiring Army's head coach. So it don't matter what goes to Duke because Duke is never going to be a
And Dan Mullen, while he's had success, I don't see Virginia being a winning program myself. And the Virginia Tech is, were they ever think about this when they were winning? It was the Vic years and maybe a couple after. But are they really like this major program? They really aren't, right? They just had about 5 years of success. And so,
actually they had some success in the early years before everybody took off and stuff like that. But then they had some down years, and then Michael Vick came in and put the school back on the map, especially when they played that Florida State team and they almost beat Florida State. That really put them on the map there, and they just stuck on the map. And then the ACC came calling. The Big East actually came calling first. They went to the Big East, and when Miami left the Big East to come to the ACC, so did Virginia Tech. So
right, but think about it. How long has it been since they've been, really, really good and relevant? It's been a while, and so I don't know, man. Now's the time, though, if you can build in the ACC because it's down compared to normal years. So. I mean, when I was looking at the championship game and you didn't see Clemson and, there wasn't Florida State and there wasn't Miami and North Carolina ended up not being what they're supposed to be, the ACC right now is, there's opportunity for anybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at that certain situation too, but if Duke gets the Army head coach, only Paul Jones, out of the Naval Academy was only successful at Georgia Tech so long. And then that option stuff went away. So, to me, I don't think that's going to work. It might work at Duke because they can't get all the talent,
Duke's a basketball school, plain and simple.
yeah, it is.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in North Carolina. Actually, I was born in Henderson, North Carolina, which is 35 miles, 35 minutes from Duke, 35 minutes from NC State, and 45 minutes from Chapel Hill. So I know all about that.
They're also good at lacrosse and women's soccer, but I don't think people care too much about that on this podcast.
Damn lacrosse! Nobody care about no damn lacrosse.
I know I do that. That's why I threw that out there because
lacrosse.
They're weird sports that nobody's talking about.
But if you ever want to get a Duke fan mad,
hey, we're really good at cricket. Cricket.
Hey, look, if you ever want to get a Duke fan mad, when they start talking about Coach K's 5 rings and stuff like that, all you got to tell them about the UNC's female soccer coach. He's got 22. So,
oof.
Oh damn.
He's got 22. He's got all 22 national titles.
Jay, does soccer become relevant when you got 22 rings, man?
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you what.
Soccer. It's like Europe.
I'm telling you.
In America.
Well, I'm telling you though, if you ever want to get a Duke fan mad, that get them mad right off the bat.
Jay, I can't do it. I can't talk ill of soccer, bro. My daughter's a soccer star. She's gonna be probably going to LSU, so I ain't doing it. I ain't talking bad about soccer. I won't do it. I'll talk bad about lacrosse with you though.
But I mean, if you ever want to get a Duke fan mad, if you want to get an NC State fan mad, just tell that basketball team haven't won a championship in 38 years.
I ain't trying to make nobody mad over on the East Coast. I'm gonna keep people happy. I'm gonna stay out of it.
So, but I mean, so you got all these coaching changes, and we got the college playoffs set up. Jim's got Michigan taking it. Me and Jay's got Georgia. Coach came on and he said he took Alabama in the Alabama, called it the Alabama Invitational Tournament. That's basically what it is. So
it really is.
Is it safe to say though, if you're not an Alabama fan in this country, you're rooting against them? I mean, like I don't see anybody who roots for them unless you are a fan of them. You gotta want them to lose at this point.
So, yeah, I mean, Alabama's the big draw. I mean, if you look at, you talk about Alabama's championship, you talk about all that championship, but half the championships they just claimed. I mean, back in the early years, they didn't really have a championship, so they just claimed them.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I'll tell you. 2019 LSU's veteran, 2020 Alabama. Take that to the bank. That's all I'm going to say. And look at those LSU boys in the NFL dominating right now.
Yeah. And if you look at Alabama's still mad because they still play that replay of the Auburn guy taking it back on the field goal all the way back for a touchdown for the victory.
I don't remember a more exciting play that didn't involve my team. Dude, I stood up off the couch and you would have thought I was an Auburn fan the way I danced around my room. That was the greatest play ever.
But I mean, if we're talking about Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC, I guess in 2023 is when they supposed to join. But Texas is bringing all that money in. I mean, Texas is bringing.
I thought it was. Is it 23? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's 23 from what I was tracking.
Okay,
yeah.
Man, it's earlier than I thought. I thought it was 24. Ooh, man, they got no time. They got no time.
But the other thing is too. They got the SEC network. Texas got their own Longhorn channel that they're bringing into the SEC. And they're bringing all the money, too.
Only Jason's going to watch crap like that. Ain't nobody watching the Longhorn Network.
Hey, Texas fans do.
But you talk about my Texas teams, damn
it. Yeah, that 2019 team. You remember when Joe Burrow waved at you guys? That was fun.
So.
See, that's what I like about you, Jimmy. You ought to be poking fun, man. Damn.
Hey, it's always fun to poke fun.
Texas in football, man, we haven't had a good team, man, since
you know what's also fun, Jay. I don't care if you don't care about college baseball. I was in Omaha for the World Series. I was fun watching Texas get sent home by Mississippi State too. I just want to throw that out there.
I saw that one too. That one really hurt. It hurt, but hey, at least we were there. That's all that matters. We were there. LSU wasn't there. LSU was sitting there watching us on the couch.
But you know what? What you don't know about me, you said I live in Louisiana. I don't. I live in North Mississippi, and I cover Mississippi State, and I was there behind home plate, and I know all the Mississippi State players. And so that's who I wanted to win, and that's who did win, and that's who I partied with. And guess who came into our party, Jay? Your man, Dak Prescott.
Well, he did go to school there. I mean,
I know. That's what I'm saying. And let me tell you something. You want to know football's king, fellas? The national championship baseball team came through there, and the place went nuts, right? Dak Prescott walked in by himself after them. About 5 minutes later, it was twice as loud.
Oh, I bet.
Them boys just won the national title. Football is king.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I mean, football is football. I mean, my team at the last game of the season had a 9-point lead and gave it up in the last 2 minutes of the game. So, to North Carolina State. So, yeah, my Tar Heels are down.
We need to light a candle for Ray too, Jay.
I done lit about 4 of them already.
I'm running out of candles, bro.
Nah, I mean, we went to a bowl game, so that's good. That's good enough. Continue 3 straight bowl games for us.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, Ray. That's tough when you hang on to stats like that.
Well, no, because if you look at the long run too, it gives the team an extra month to practice with each other and get the new guys that are coming in. I mean, we've got to replace Howell because I don't think Howell's coming back after this year anyway. He's off to the NFL, so that gives rep to everybody else to, some more practice with the team before spring practice comes up. So, I mean, that's what the whole thing about a bowl game is. You get into a bowl game, you get the extra few practice with your team.
Man, I ain't even gonna watch LSU in the Shreveport Bowl. That's what I'm telling you. That's how much I care about that bowl game.
Nah, I'll watch my team all the way up to the end of the season. So, win, lose, or draw. So let's see here. Don't worry, we play in South Carolina. Yep, we got South Carolina in the Duke Mayo Bowl. At all things, the Duke Mayo Bowl in Charlotte.
I can't watch that either. I'm busy that day.
Yeah, I definitely will be busy that day.
No, I'll take my thing. I'll sit there and watch it. And one thing about this game is Howell plays this game. Howell started to see his career off against South Carolina in the same stadium in Charlotte with his first career victory. So he could finish his career with the same victory too. So
there you go. That's nice. Very poetic.
Yeah.
No, Coach Dante. All right.
Oh yeah. So I mean, you got any more topics y'all want to discuss?
I think we plastered it all up against the wall.
Yeah, I'm ready. Honestly, I'm ready for tomorrow night's game. That's my thing because I've been on 3 different shows and we've hammered. I mean, it's so many people on New England. I'm just ready for Buffalo to win, and I'm ready for me and Jay to win fantasy because of Bills players. Let's just get this done.
Well, I got the Bills defense, so.
Well, good. I hope they show out too. I hope we get everything we need, fellas.
Man.
Yeah, but the Bills defense hurt me when the Jaguars played them.
Yeah.
Of all teams.
No, but it was fun because you had all the Bills Mafia to come into the stadium, and they were talking there all that junk, and then when we won, they were crying.
Look, hey, I'm going to tell you, since you said they came in there, this will be my last note. I told you about how many Bills fans were in New Orleans, and I talked to a bunch of them. They were actually real cool. And I was like, man, so what, y'all just come down here because it's New Orleans? And they said, no, we travel like this everywhere. And I've been hearing that. I've been seeing it. Man, I don't know that they might be the best traveling fan base right now.
Yeah, but you can tell when they come to town because they leave broken tables all over the place. So you think you went to a WWE wrestling match in the backyard style.
I mean, to each city their own. We do voodoo dolls, they do broken tables, whatever.
Yeah, and y'all's fan base start singing that whatever that chant is they do.
Who that? You don't know who that? Hey, that was that was the one cool part about the Bills Thanksgiving Day game. It was Drew's first game back there. He was calling it for NBC. He came out at halftime and led a who dat chant. That was about the only fun part of that game, actually.
Who dat?
So I mean, we're about to wrap this thing up. It's been the touchdown crew, not the original touchdown crew, that's normally on here on Sunday mornings with the pregame show. I'm Ray, Jim, and Jay. Y'all have a good night.
Later, fellas.